They have been facing several hurdles, several constraints, but still the teachers and the principals have all gathered and they've all been together to do great things. And I must really congratulate you. And that is the real spirit of education. You know, teachers show the world that, you know, we will never feel defeated. None of us will feel defeated. And we all go ahead. And congratulations to each one of you, each principal there, vice principal there, section heads, and people in positions over there. And to my very, 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 very dear teachers, a big namaskar to you. And thanks to Colin's team, Nidhi, Binoy, and all the others who are connected with the Colin's team. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity here. And it is my privilege to talk to you. Now, the topic that you had given me to speak on is National Education Policy and Integrated Pedagogy. This National Education Policy, when it was published, I was pleasantly surprised because this is what I had been wanting for years together. I had been talking in almost all platforms that such a kind of an education is required for us and that it is happening today. And integrated pedagogy, when they said, I was again happy because that is what exactly I was doing as a principal 20 years back in Singhania School when I was the director of education there. So both of these things, great things are happening to this country. And I must tell you, you might have heard that Finland is supposed to be the best in the world for a good education system. The number one country in the world for best education is the Finnish School of Education. And the great USA is standing there somewhere only 30th or 35th. Okay, so that is how the education, the standards of educations are guided usually. And when I read through the NEP, quite a few pages I went through it, I understand that it is almost, objectively speaking, almost nearing the Finnish system of education. Why? Because in Finland, they do not allow, of course, they don't have a system of great, the typical formal kind of an education. They allow a lot of informal education possible. At the age of 8, they start real formal education in Finland. And you know, the teachers are supposed to be the highest paid in the country. And to get into a teacher institute, educational institute, to do a degree, you have to wait for years. Universities are already booked to give that teacher training education. And I was given to understand by someone who visited Finland. He was telling me that the salary of the teacher there is higher than that of the president. So it all shows that kind of a reverence they had been giving to teachers. And mostly when I went through the NEP, the wishful thinking of the government towards teachers and teacher education also could be seen through it. That was very good. And many things, project method of learning, integrated method of teaching, they are incorporating it. If the NEP is implemented without any flaw, then I am sure by 2030, we would be one of the top countries in the world. Really, really. So this is what I wanted to tell you, give you a good word about NEP. And there are, yes, of course, anything that the government projects or anybody projects, there would be critics for that. Maybe there is some value in that, but then they all can be considered and you can come over that as well. But on the whole, the system is a very good system for India. Now, I'll be doing these two today Decoding the National Education Policy for all educators. That is the first part I will be doing. And remember, this integrated pedagogy, art, sports, storytelling, and ICT is part and parcel of NEP only. Okay, but then I wanted to talk to you there when I talk about integrated pedagogy, two ways of looking at it, which I will be dealing when I touch upon that. So let us see the NEP. NEP 2020 in the new avatar. You know, earlier we had 1968, we had a national education policy. 1986, we had a policy. 1992, we had a national policy. And whatever later were only curriculum framework. We all changed the curriculum framework. 2005, we changed quite a few of curriculum, etc., etc. As a policy, this is the after 34 years, this is coming into picture. That is what one of the great things we need to understand here. And most of you would have seen it. Several PPTs are going in WhatsApp about NEP, but it is extremely important for the school managements and the principals and the teachers to understand this NEP at length. All right. Now, the new curriculum framework will be following soon. And when the new curriculum framework comes in, you will have the new assessment patterns also coming in, and expected to be full-fledged manner by 2023. By 24-25, your first batch of 12th standard in this policy will be walking out. They would be writing their examination. Okay, so that is something. Changes in the education scenario totally will happen by 2030. So by 2030, you will see the changes happening, and the effect of the changes to see it in full spirit, full way. By 2040, the whole thing would be settled. This is the aim of the government to do it. And obviously, they are taking sufficient efforts for that. Now, significant visionary approaches of NEP, I'm going to take up here for your understanding. Of course, I'm not able to go through the entire part of NEP in minute details, because it goes beyond words. I mean, every small little thing needs explanation there. But in general, I have taken the titles and I'm planning to give you an explanation. You know, the vision of the policy needs appreciation. A great vision they have got. It envisions an education system that is rooted in Indian ethos, that directly contributes to transforming India, that is Bharat, sustainably into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society, providing high quality education and thereby making India a global knowledge superpower. This is the vision that the education policy starts with, this kind of a vision. Now, so far, we were following a Macaulay system of education, and the hangover is still there with many of us. All right. I am not saying it is bad or good or anything, but something that is so very indigenous, that is so very close to India, this is the first time I would say something is happening here. So we must appreciate this vision. And also, this vision is also to instill among the learners deep-rooted pride in being an Indian. I am an Indian first. This is the statement we want our children to say henceforth. And not only in thought, but in spirit, intellect, and deeds, as well as to develop knowledge, skills, values, and dispositions that support responsible commitment to human rights, sustainable development, and living and global well-being, thereby reflecting a truly global citizen. This is the way the framework, they have painted their canvas like this with this vision. And so the entire projection is into this. Decoding the NEP school education. Now, I'm going to take up all these circles one by one. Let us start from the first one, which is the on top, the blue one, which you are seeing, the NEP new pedagogy, 5+3+3+4. That is the new pedagogy. Now, what is that new pedagogy talking? We'll go one by one, okay? And secondly, they are talking about the orange one. You go in the clockwise direction. So the second one is showing you the foundational years. What are the foundational years going to do? The third part of it is FLN, which is the foundational literacy and numeracy by 2025. How should the schools achieve that? Then comes education for all, that is by 2030. All right. And curriculum and pedagogy in schools, how do you do that? Then comes teachers. Teachers, what do they do? How do you do? And how should schools appoint teachers, and what should the teachers have qualifications, and how should they be trained? Then comes effective resourcing and effective governance. Okay, that is for the managements. And then creation of National Educational Technology Forum, then accreditation and standard setting. All these things are primarily dealt with in the NEP with a lot of intricate messages in between. So in general, I'll be touching upon this. The first one is the new pedagogical framework. Now, when you look at the first one is 5 years. 5 years is actually, foundation is 3 years of preschool and 2 years of primary grade 1 and 2. You know, earlier, preschool was considered to be a very, very informal kind of an education. Okay, there was no kind of a, what you call an appreciation. Schools did that because those schools which had schools from 1 to 12, they wanted number of students to come into standard 1. So they necessarily had a preschool because they were the feeder schools for their main school. Okay, that is how. And it was from school to school, the preschool syllabus differed, the curriculum differed, the pattern differed. Everything was different from school to school. Now it is coming into a formal structure. The government itself is recognizing the formal years as foundation stage 3 for the preschool and grade 1 and 2. So that makes it 5 years. So the first 5 years is the primary years where we need to give attention. The second one is the preparatory stage, which is the 3rd grade to 5th grade, 3, 4, and 5. So this is the preparatory stage, and the preparatory stage will be including your, what all things they need to do, what is the curriculum they have to do, everything is coming into that, and the competencies, the skills that are required there for them, so that at the end of grade 5, the children should be ready to go to standard 6. You know, we have all seen teachers saying, when the primary school teachers, you know, primary school teachers in our existing system, I'm saying, primary school teachers have a very different way of handling children. They are very child-friendly methods and the activity-based learning, etc. Now, when they go into the 5th standard or 6th standard, they suddenly, you can see their performance will be dipping. So those children who will be doing really well must be doing now not so well, and parents are worried, the children are worried, and the school is worried, and the teachers will be asked, why is it happening? My son was doing really well in standard 4 and 5. Why has he come down really low in standard 6? They may ask. And you know, please remember that 5 and 6, it is a transition stage. And age-wise also, children are going into the teenage. So the transition age happens, and so the children will have to be prepared. That is why it is called as a preparatory stage, preparing the children to the next level, which is the teen years for them. So that is what is happening here. Then comes the middle stage, 6th to 8th grade, 6, 7, 8, 3 years. So 5 plus 3 plus 3. And the secondary stage, which is your main concern, that is the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th as together. It is no more separate. So this is how the new pedagogy framework is going to happen. So as of now, if you would wish to call your school as, you can say the foundation course, foundation stage is up to second standard. Then you will say preparatory stage till fifth standard. Then you will say middle school from 6th to 8th and secondary school. Earlier we had senior secondary school for 11th and 12th. That was a separate kind of an existence. So this is how the new pedagogy. Then comes the foundational years of learning. Now, foundational years of learning, when the government decided that the preschool must be recognized and formalized, they gave a great emphasis to ECCED, Early Childhood Curriculum. So I request the managements, the teachers and the principals now take a focus on your early childhood education. Seriously. In terms of their curriculum, in terms of the activities that you are going to arrange for them, in terms of the teachers whom you are going to appoint or the existing teachers as well, how much of training you are going to take, because the expectations of NEP is extremely high. So we need to prepare our people and our school for that. The first stage is foundational stage. What they are talking about is that the school literacy, universal quality and access, easy access to ECCED for all. And you have Anganwadi centers in many rural areas. Anganwadi centers are all there. Now they are focusing on even Anganwadi centers also and giving those teachers who are there a classy training and allowing the Anganwadi units to join hands together, visit similar good schools there and join hands with them and to improve the Anganwadi structure. That is what they are saying. They are also saying infrastructure and playground and staff of all the existing preschools must be seriously formalized and really done well. Special attention is given to those locations and districts that are specially socio-economically disadvantaged. This is something which the management, school managements like GPS can seriously think about it, that explore the avenues of starting good preschools in socio-economically disadvantaged area, because the government is going to give you quite a lot of support there in bringing up that. And you have the curriculum is going to be given by NCERTs. They are going to do revising the entire structure till 8th year. So they will be able to give you every other support systems for you. And they are also promoting the managements for PPE, private public partnership. So this is something the managements can seriously think about it. And overall aim to enhance cognitive, cultural, artistic, social, emotional, psychomotor development of the children. Of course, all these things even today preschools have. It's not that you don't have all these things. But the problem is that we were not concentrating specifically on those issues. We were concentrating mainly on cognitive area, which is the intellectual academic mastery. Here it is saying that you have to deal with the affective domain, you have to deal with the psychomotor domain and create the kind of learning here. Now, what is the next one? I'm not able to see it. Sorry. The photos are all, 1 second. I'll just read out that. The pedagogy up to 8 years would be developed by NCERT. That is what they are saying. The pedagogy will be developed by NCERT. So, what is happening here is something very good is happening here is that there is a standardization that is happening. Standardization between public schools and private schools, the state board schools and the central board or any other board schools, there is going to be an equality. There isn't any kind of a feeling that, oh, state board schools are no good at all. Aisa nahi hai. State board, I am a state board product and I don't think I am bad. I am fairly good enough. And so it is so very important that children are not differentiated just because they study in different boards. So the government is taking care. Now comes the FLN, Foundational Literacy and Numeracy. by 2025. This is something extremely important for you. And believe me, you have to start from today. Today on, you have to start it. Though they are saying it is by 2025, you have to start the preschool onwards. You have to start till second standard. You have to start this process by, in another couple of years, you should be there if you have to reach by 2025 this goal. Now, what do they say? The first one is children need to learn to read in order to read to learn by 2025. This is something very important. Literacy by end of grade 3 and numeracy also by 2025. Why this is happening is that I must tell you, very dear teachers and principals, you know the problem with our children, little ones. They may be studying in English medium schools. They may be studying in state board schools. Whatever schools they study, children are children. They are beautiful, loving kids, no problem. The issue with our children is that their reading habits are very poor. Be it English medium or I have not seen the students reading so very well or speaking also very well. And I would even say that it is no different in the other countries as well. Because I happened to go into some schools in the US, I could see that the children were reading Shakespeare in the standard 12. In one class, I was seeing they are fumbling for words. The reading habit was so bad, even the children, students in 12th standard, not able to read Shakespeare. So it is not different anywhere that way. Here, but then let us not worry about others. Let us worry about our kids. How are they going to read? I was listening to the Prime Minister and he was categorically making a statement that only if the children acquire the reading skills, they will be able to learn anything. Isn't it true? All the other subjects come in only if the reading speed increases. So what is said is that the second part of it says that reading, writing, speaking, counting, arithmetic, mathematical thinking in the preparatory and middle school. They say in a minute, your standard should be in a minute, they should be able to read 35 words. In a minute. That is your speed. So if there are language teachers and English teachers sitting out there, it is applicable to Hindi, Gujarati, as well as any other language you are teaching. Please do remember to increase the word. Now, reading is I'm deviating a little bit, but I thought since you are all teachers there, I need to tell you this particular point. Our children do not read. They read words. They do not read sentence. That is a problem for comprehension. That is, the eye should move from left to right. Okay, the head need not move this way, that way. The eye should be moving from left to right. When we are moving, they don't read sentences, they read words. The reason, the mistake is with us teachers. I tell you why. Because in the smaller classes, we take a chalk or a pencil and tell the children to touch the first word, read that word, then the second word, then the third word, then the fourth word, fifth word, like that. What is happening here is that the child is concentrating on the word. He is not concentrating on how the words make a sense of a sentence. So reading is a skill. So my sincere request to all the teachers who are teaching in the primary classes and pre-primary classes, concentrate much on reading. Concentrate much on giving the children enough vocabulary words through sight words. They may not be able to write in the pre-primary classes, but even in the first and second also, they may not be able to write so well. But orally give children as many vocabulary words as possible. If I tell you, by the end of second standard, your children should have amassed a vocabulary of around 1,000 new words. Can you make it happen?
Teachers over there, Vijayam ma'am, we have our primary section teachers. I wish they should implement this in the classrooms.
Possible. It is possible. I give you one clue I am giving, though I don't know whether I'll be at this speed. If I go, I will be able to finish. But let me give you some clue into it, that what you need to do is that when you take up each topic, suppose it is a pre-primary school topic that you are taking, say myself or the world around me. The world around me, tell your teachers to collect as many words as possible. The world around me has water. The world around me has air. The world around me has all the 5 elements. Earth is there. And all the related words, like that you build up 100 words or 150 words will come from one topic. Related words and make sight words, and let your children learn the sight words orally. When children have sufficient vocabulary, they will not hesitate to speak. Speaking will come. We have seen our children fumbling for words, even adults, even some of us also. It is so very difficult to speak sometimes. All of a sudden, if somebody comes and asks, any of our teachers also, who's a little bit shy, ask the teacher to go and talk on the stage, she will be fumbling. Not that she is a bad speaker, but then suddenly a stage fright comes and she will be looking for words, vocabulary. Correct? So vocabulary is important for your children while reading, and the comprehension, literacy, writing comes. Do not give so much of a stress to the children by writing A to Z or any other such things. Those things will come later. I'm telling you, they will come. The fear of learning in the foundational stage should be removed. Children should be expressing without fear. They should be able to speak. In our preschool system, when I was the principal, my teachers also were doing like this, making them sit and write cursive line, this line, that line, all those things. I told them, stop all that. First 3 months, when you admit them into preschool, KG classes, you will not teach them anything. That was my standing condition. Then they all asked me, what should we do then? You will talk, dance, sing, whatever you wanted to do with your children, do all that. The point is that the children becomes tensionless. They don't have a fear to express. When there is no fear, our children will speak beautifully. I'm sure about it. All right. So this is very important. Similarly, numeracy. Do not load them with numbers. I had been into one of the schools in Gujarat where I was helping one school. So the KG teacher was so very proud, and she was telling, my child, in my class, the child is able to count till 50. You want to hear? Yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That child was such a sweet little darling. She was quite beautifully 1 to 50 within seconds she was able to complete. Okay. And then I asked in this, so on their wall, the teacher had written number board. So I asked, just show me where is 35 in this. The child was not able to do. So there is no necessity for the teachers to teach them till 30, 15, 100 and all that. Teach them till 10, but teach them the place value, number, all those things as pakka. Make that concrete. Whatever little you teach, make it concrete. Then reading accurately 35 words in a minute, that is what, and oral reading functional skills, frequency with comprehension. This, Bina, you can do one thing. All the principals can do one thing, is that as an assessment practice, you can give reading part as an assessment. Either you can allot a 10, you have a 20 marks assessment, for something or the other.
Yes, ma'am.
5 marks you can give for reading assessment. You can give unknown passages, you can give known passages, poetry or whatever it is. all those things. You can also give them assessments for listening skills. Play out some video, play out some speeches, and ask.
That is happening in our language teaching. Like language teachers are doing that.
All the language teachers must be doing that.
Applicable for Hindi, Gujarati as well. Teachers who are attending here, isn't it?
That would be part of their assessment. The ability to read, write, and do primary operations with numbers is extremely important. So that is something, this is what they are talking about, foundational literacy. And what they are saying is that, government is saying is that the resource materials for this will be made available. Definitely the government is saying CRT is going to do it. And also they have something called Diksha. Government is saying Diksha, DIKSHA. Diksha is digital information infrastructure for knowledge sharing. Digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing. Okay, so this they are creating, so they will be sharing it with the school. Now comes education for all by 2030. Now here the special emphasis is given for specially economically disadvantaged group, because those in the rural areas or tribal areas and such areas, the children are not getting any kind of a benefit for, though there are non-formal education, informal education, etc. are available even today, but it is not coming in. But they are saying now the SEDGs will definitely be attended to 2030 ke under equitable and inclusive education, which is totally including the entire student community. Around 2 crores of students would be involved in this. Then provide effective and efficient and sufficient infrastructure to safely engage students from grade 1 to 12, curtailing dropouts. So dropouts is a big problem in such areas, in remote areas and other areas. Even in urban areas also sometimes dropouts happen, especially during this pandemic. I was given to understand that many people who migrated to their native place, they have all withdrawn their children.
Yes, ma'am. There are so many cases. Even today, from our own campuses and schools, students are at their villages and not able to connect online and all. It's happening.
I know it is happening. So even dropout is not a new word even for urban school. It is everywhere. So they are planning to give great infrastructure to all the schools and request the private parties also, private schools also, to do the same. Universal participation for tracking student participation and equitable quality of education. It is not, what was happening with our country was that all these things were there, but no one was following it up. Now, because of this artificial intelligence coming into the system, they are creating systems to track the progress of the children. Where children are admitted, are they continuing, what is their progress, etc., etc. So that is also there. Then special focus on socio-economically disadvantaged groups through ODL and NIOS. ODL is Open Distance Learning, and NIOS, National Institute of Open Schools. Okay, schooling, and this is possible. This I would request. If GPS can seriously implement it for those disadvantaged groups who have left you, or there are certain schools in Bombay also I have seen, they have a separate NIOS group. They have registered with the NIOS and they help those economically disadvantaged group to do education through that. It's possible.
In fact, we were collecting information about it. Abhilasha ma'am was keen on it, wanting to collect information to start NIOS registration, that if we can help the children.
You are doing a great service if you are able to do that. It's a wonderful
look into
the benefit which can happen, even those children, NIOS children or those who are using ODL, they all will become part of your comprehensive system of GPS, and you can put them also into some of the schools to know how schooling system is all together.
Yes,
they also learn by looking at others, and your teachers can help them also. They're all, any child is after all a child, right?
Yes.
So that's it. The next is requirements of schools made less restrictive to encourage more people to start schools, maybe through a PPP in those remote areas. That's what I was saying. So Now starting schools is not a big deal for managements, because earlier your rules, regulations, restrictions were plenty. Now they are almost relaxing many of them. So less restrictive they are, and they are encouraging private partners to come in and join hands with the government. So managements can think on those lines. So education for all, and it is our responsibility. After all, management starts schools for the good of the society. So that is it. Now comes curriculum and pedagogy in school. This is something extremely important for you as principals and teachers. The first point I am taking, the apex of the triangle, is reduce curriculum to enhance essential learning and critical thinking. Okay, reduce curriculum to enhance essential learning and critical thinking. This means the existing content. Today, your textbooks are so heavy and so much to complete. I have heard the teachers struggling how to complete the lessons and portions. Now, the content will be reduced and the concept will be emphasized. That is what they are going to do in the textbooks. And for that, in creating textbooks, what they are going to do is that they are telling the people the locally important topics could be included. When the textbook creation is done, the importance can be given to the culture and the local area. What is all required, the needs of the students and society can be included, which is something fantastic, I would say. General things are always remaining there. There is no doubt about it. But at the same time, they are making the local impact could be there on textbook creation. The second point is flexibility in course choices. That is something in the higher classes it is coming in, that the student who is learning, see 11th and 12th, today we have a rigid system, extremely rigid system at the moment, that if a student wants to take mathematics, then he has to do physics and chemistry necessarily and computer science. Or if a student wants to take biology, the student has to go through physics, chemistry, biology, and whatever it is. So certain restrictions are there. Here, what they are saying is you have a flexibility, meaning to say you can learn biology and you wanted to do something else. You wanted to do social studies also. You can do that. This is how exactly it is done in Finland or other parts like Germany and Thailand and many other places. What they are doing is that they are giving freedom to the children to choose whatever they want. I remember, I don't know whether it is, I did 11th and 12th, we were called pre-degree. It was called pre-degree in our time.
Same here, ma'am. Even I did that.
I learned in Kerala. So it was called pre-degree. And pre-degree mein what combination I took was, I took math, physics, chemistry, because I don't like biology. I don't know biology because it is a bombastic words. So I can't learn that. So instead I took social studies. So those times it was there. I don't know now. So today we have curtailed all those freedom. Now the freedom, you can even choose music. You can choose anything you want. So this is giving a flexibility for the children to learn. Then comes learning to be integrated, holistic, enjoyable, and engaging. This is something you have to seriously start giving training to your teachers, how to do this integration, because integrated knowledge is going to give the best of education for your children. I was telling this from the rooftop for last 20 years to people. This has to happen. And in the school where I was the principal, we had done this integrated learning from 98 onwards. I left the school in 2008. I resigned. So till those 10 years, we were doing this integrated learning. Only theme will be chosen, thematic learning. One theme will be chosen. We'll create the webs for that, integrate all the subjects. If you are taking something, say, for example, you want to teach water to the students, water cycle you want to teach children, then you will be teaching English of water cycle, math of water cycle, science of water cycle, music, art, craft, sports, everything concerned with water cycle. This is what they are asking. And they are asking you to use ICT for that integration. And storytelling also as one of the methods for integrated holistic learning. This holistic learning includes the 21st century skills, values, and constitutional values also to be given importance. All that they are asking you to do. Now comes transforming school assessments for student development. Now, when you are doing learning like this, the assessment will automatically go for a change. And the drastic change which you have to, we had been in the last 2 or 3 sessions that Collins had arranged, you know, they have a program called Evaluate, Collins Evaluate, and they are doing this assessment ke liye, they are helping. So I was asked to do all about assessments for them. I was telling them, this assessment is going to change. Change, how is it going to change? So far, we were testing the academic mastery. We were not worried about any other things. We wanted to know how much he scored in mathematics. Did he score 70 on 100 or 50 on 100? What is he scored? Then we tell the parents, oh, this is okay, that is okay. Your son is not good at all in mathematics. I don't know whether he will be promoted to the next class or not. This is what we were doing. This is what they are saying. This is going to go for a change. You will have to now assess your children on the cognitive domain, which is your intellectual mastery, which you are giving through subjects. Second is the affective domain. The affective domain is the social and emotional development of the children. You have to assess the children on that. And the third is the psychomotor development. It doesn't stand only for physical education. It stands for even how to use, how to mingle with a group, how they use, how they carry themselves, how do they do their lab work, how do they do an activity. All these things will be falling into this psychomotor development. So 3 main areas are going to come into, figure out into your assessment now, going to change, transform your assessment patterns drastically. Cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor development. The next one is support for students and students with special talent. This was an area which I would say 99% schools were not worried. Not at all able to look into. You know, if you ask any principal or a teacher, whomever I have come across with, they are so much concerned about those children who are weak, who are not doing well. We have to help them out to get through. The parents are struggling, children are struggling. We put the best teachers to give them guidance, all those things. When the results come, you know, more than the principals, the teachers will be glued to the computer to see not who got first, but whether their pet children got through in the final examination. So this much of an care you used to give the weak students. Have we ever bothered about the best ones?
Yes, ma'am. I would disagree with whatever principals are doing. We are taking care of the best ones, and maybe because of that, I would proudly say GPS is producing city toppers every year. I'm contributing to a city merit list.
Wonderful, Beena.
Because we focus there also. Gifted children, those who are wanting our little polishing and all, if we do, they are excelling like anything, ma'am.
Very good, very good, very good. So that is something really, really interesting. So those students who need gifted children need help. So allow them with so many, what the government is saying, you will have to start math circle, dance and music circle, science circle, this circle, that circle. So all these gifted children can be part of it, and you can give even summer camps for all those things. To engage the gifted children for all that, and then also do competitive examination. That is what they are actually asking you to do. What do you call the Homi Baba Research Center examination, National Talent Search examination. Allow these children, promote these gifted children also. Then comes national textbook creation with local content and flavor. This I have already told you, and the benefit here which you are going to have, which this national curriculum framework is going to come in very soon. Very soon they are preparing it. It will come up soon. So the textbook creation with local content and flavor with integration of technology. That is going to be part of it, with facilities given to you, as I told you, how to track the progress of the students. All those facilities, the NCERT is going to come up. Then comes also the curricular integration of essential subject skills and capacities. This is something like how you can teach major subjects. Essential subjects means major subjects. How, while teaching English, math, science, etc., how can you link those subjects while teaching? The subjects themselves to be integrated with skills and capacities of the children. That is what they are talking about. They also want us to take up the Indian culture, the tradition of India, the value system of India, the mathematical wisdom of India. All those things will come in for supporting you, and all these things can be touched upon while integrating the major subjects. You also can link with this all the non-scholastic subjects too, like sports, art, craft, music, dance, etc. You already might have seen some people used to say dance can teach mathematics also. You have heard about it, yes. You know, Bharatanatyam and several other things. So there are several ways and means to do that. Then comes multilingualism and power of language. This is something which the people have really been worried. You know, in the South, people are worried that Hindi is going to be thrusted upon. Now, I do appreciate that Hindi is a national language and due weightage must be given to Hindi. But I would also not want Hindi to be thrusted upon any state. Okay. So which the government itself is saying that we are not going to. The 3-language formula which you were already following, you can continue with that. There is no problem at all. The 3-language formula will come in for, one second. Yeah, that is what, up to grade 5. What they are suggesting is up to grade 5, it would be advisable if you give the students learning through mother tongue. Personally, if you ask me, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. The reason being, the best of knowledge comes to the children when they are using their own mother tongue. I'm not against English at all. Without English, we can't live today in this world. I'm not against it. But till 5th standard, the children will have to learn in their mother tongue because the expression comes easily for them. If it is a different language, then they have to think about what words they have to use to get into it. I remember very, very well. This is some example I need to tell you. Otherwise, you know, we really cannot do justice to this scenario. I was doing my 12th standard, my pre-degree. I studied in Malayalam medium and went into 11th. So my group of students were all with English medium students, and I was the only Malayalam medium student. And you know, when the lessons all started, physics, I was a good student. I wasn't bad at all. But when the whole lessons started, I was not understanding at all. I was simply sitting like this without understanding. And for the first time in physics, I failed in my life. And the sad thing was that the teacher made me stand up in the whole class and asked me and insulted me, and the tears were about to roll in my eyes. But then I controlled. I was a very bold girl that time. But reply to that, to the teacher, I said that not in English. In Malayalam, I said, you wait and watch. By the year end, I will be topping in physics in this college. I told her that. That was the kind of a word I gave her, and I started learning first English. I realized that the medium of instruction is English, and so I have to learn English first in order to master other subjects. So it took a little time for me, but I kept up my word. I stood first in the university in physics examination. So, this is how, but okay, it is okay with some students like me will be there. Some will be very, very, very touch me not kind of children who will go back, withdraw themselves. So multilingualism, we must seriously approach it. Any language, they have given all language, and they are also promising high quality textbook in those languages, that also. And 2 to 8, they pick up language very fast. Age 2 to 8, any language they will be able to pick up very, very fast. You give English also to them, no harm about it. And bilingual textbooks the government is going to prepare. So whatever is your regional language, that language also will be there. And from grade 6 to 12, the government is advising the schools to give provisions for the children to learn any one particular classic language of India. They are also promoting Sanskrit. So these are all the things with that. And experiential learning, that is the next one. What they are saying is that experiential learning from the beginning stage to the middle years, the children should be doing everything through activities, play-based activities, and doing with their hands-on experience must be given, and the children learn. But let me tell you, when I'm an advocate for NEP, I also recognize the flaws in the system. We need to listen to the critics of the people. While experienced learning is emphasized, it should not be that we should forget the theory. The concreteness of the learning should not be lost. Everything cannot be fun. Learning, people say education is fun. Education is never fun. Education is pretty serious. Learning should be fun. I'm not against it. Learning can be fun, but education is never fun. Okay, so during this fun-filled activities, I'm only a little worried whether the seriousness of the topics or the concreteness of learning should disappear or not. I don't know. But the teachers, our teachers would be really doing great. The next is about teachers. They talk a lot about teachers because they realize that it is the teacher who is going to bring in great change in the system of education. The system of education, when they mean to say, the government is insisting on 21st century skills like creative thinking, critical thinking, problem solving, communication, and self-management, and asking argumentative questions and getting inferring right kind of information. So many skills they are asking them to do. But these skills will come to the children only if I'm underlining the teachers are there. So teachers, my very dear teachers sitting out there, never ever think that you are not wanted. You are all the more wanted in today's world when the pandemic has stepped in, the parents have started realizing the importance of you. Yes. They cannot manage one child for 1 hour. They will be asking you, how are you managing 40 children in the class? It's so very difficult to manage children. So teachers, you can pat yourself on your shoulder. You are simply great. You are beautiful. Okay. Your importance is going to come into the picture when these skills are to be imparted. If the children have to see, Google Dada will give you everything. All information दुनिया में जो है सब दे सकता है. Google will give you everything. They will give the children, but the skill to know whether the information given itself is right or not, who will tell them? Because as such, Wikipedia gives you plenty of information, but there is no guarantee that Wikipedia always gives you the right information. After all, Wikipedia is also written by people, like our history is written by people who had a frame of mind. Right? Like that, Wikipedia is also written by people, some people. So, they have you can't say that every information coming on Google Dada is correct. So your teachers are required. Teachers are required there to guide the children as to what is right and what is wrong, and teaching them values. Who will teach them value? No internet media will teach them values. The human touch is required. You are touching the lives of children. Remember, teachers, you are doing a great job. All right. So the teachers are given a lot of importance here also. They say recruitment, this is to the management. Recruitment and deployment is a serious matter. So they are advising the management, school managements, both of private and public schools, to make sure that you recruit the right kind of people with proper knowledge, proper training, proper experience, and please do check their credentials. Which university do they pass out? There are a number of fake universities. They produce people and send. You don't know. The principal doesn't have that kind of a time, liberty. But I would sincerely request the principals to take out a time, check up for the credentials, and employ the good people. I would always say one more thing I want to say here. We had a huge discussion when I was principal, and I had quite a number of section heads, and there was no vice principal, of course, and group head of departments, etc. So they were all asking me, oh, this is a great CV, madam, excellent, MSc, MEd, all those qualifications are both badhiya hai. We have done teacher lessons also. She is doing really well. We should appoint. But when the personal interview with me happens, the principals have got a knack to find out from the way the teachers project themselves. We have a knack to find out how good they are or how they are. Sometimes the attitude towards work may not be there. I would appoint rather a mediocre teacher who has a brilliant attitude than a brilliant teacher with qualification with a poor attitude.
Very true, ma'am. Very true.
Because, I want people who are ready to learn, who are ready to understand. Hi-fi people, funda with great people already who come with a weightage that they know everything will never learn at school. So managements have to seriously look into the employment and teachers who are sitting out there. Let me tell you, you also have to approach schools whenever you are looking for jobs or you have sought for jobs. Your caliber also should be very great. The management should feel that, oh, you are indispensable. But this is the candidate I want. This is the candidate I want. Like that, the management should be able to think. You make yourself, prepare yourself for that kind of an setup. Service environment and culture also should be beautifully created. Now, what is this service environment and culture for teachers? Because, teachers usually when they are appointed, they are pushed into the system just like that. Of course, there are orientation programs. Of course, management do take care of it. But very often, the teachers will be falling into the depth of it, learn, struggle, and then come up and learn. This is all quite okay. You learn that. This is no problem. But there must be an environment, a climate in the school systems where there is cooperative learning. The people there should be teams, they should be able to learn together very well. That's what the government is saying. The environment should be that of like a Saraswati Vidyalaya. Everything is about learning. Everything is about sharing. Everything is about cooperation, understanding. Each one is able to. The service itself is a kind of an environment. The culture of the institution is also like that, of sharing and caring, of knowledge. This is something which is important. The values are important here. Then comes continuous professional development, CPD. This, I have to say that it is there. It is not that CPD is something new to you principals. I don't think it is new. It is there. But what I have seen is that CBSE also does it, ICSE also does it, all school boards do it religiously, the CPDs, and they send people to train the teachers, etc., etc. What happens is that in a year, there may be 4 or 5 trainings happen like that. And the schools also spend a lot of money. It's not that the school doesn't spend money. But the sad part is that the training happens and 1 week, the teachers are fully charged. Beautiful. We have to do this. We have to do that. Madam ne ye bataya, sir ne ye bataya. We can do it. Our management is also giving us support. Very good. We will do it. All that. 1 week. Uske baad kya hota hai?
Something like the hare and tortoise story, no?
Exactly. It happens. So why should the management spend money like this? For whom? Whose sake? The management spends money for the sake of teachers developing their own skills. It's not that no management will spend money for the teachers to get out of them. No, they want them to be again with them, together with them, so that the children will benefit. That's it. So the teachers must seriously remember, if you learn anything, make it a habit to assimilate it, internalize it, and put it into practice. You don't need any principal or vice principal or HOD to tell you to do it. Let me tell you, let me tell you one example of me. I can't say I because these are all from my experience. Isliye I aata hai. Don't worry about it. I took charge of 12th standard teaching chemistry when I was just 22. 22, entering 23, of a big school in Coimbatore. Okay, chemistry I have to teach the 12th standard. I was the class teacher of 12th standard A. Usually people will shiver. I walked into the principal's room. I told, I have a request to make. Yes. What is it? That in the name of classroom observation, I don't want you to walk into my class. Remember, I need a job. I need very much a job. But I was damn sure. The principal was shocked. What? But class observation is the job of a principal. I said, I agree. But in my class, when you have entrusted this class to me, you have entrusted in faith. It is my responsibility to produce brilliant students to you, which I give you word. Then I have some doubts, I shall come to you. The principal will never, I left that institution 15 years later to become a principal elsewhere. The principal has never walked into my classroom.
That was the faith she had in you.
Faith she had in me and the confidence that I had in me. Yeah. Which means I can't be doing it just like that. The teachers have to walk into the classroom with thorough preparation. And my very dear science teachers, do not walk into the class with the textbook and a chalk. And don't open your science book and read. Today we are going to learn the cell structure, and today open the page number, please. Science is something you should walk into the class with all knowledge stored here without any supporting system. The children will love you, they will respect you, they will look at you, and that is how I was doing. And that is the respect I have as a teacher. So I'm telling you, continuous professional development, meaning to say in your own subject, things have changed. what it is, read paper, read books, understand, assimilate, and the skills of learning. What are the 21st century skills you are supposed to teach the children? Learn it. The professional development, you also need to make certain efforts from your own side. Do not expect all the time that the principal or the management will do that. You also need to look into that. The management has also got to do that for them. Then career management and progression, CMP. This is something the management needs to do. You might be identifying good number of people, good teachers who would be seriously doing great for the school. So allow them to do the management and progression, their career management. It is always ideal to promote your own teachers to the higher positions for stability, because they know your philosophy, they know your culture. So give them opportunities for that. The government is also saying there must be an atmosphere, environment wherein the climate should allow the teachers to learn. The professional standards for teachers and special educators must be set up. That also the government is going to give you in detail what are the professional standards. And approach to teacher education, that is your B.Ed. They are going to have a 4-year integrated B.Ed course. Okay, soon after your 12th grade, 4-year integrated course. This is totally for those people who want to become teachers. Suppose you already have a BSc, then you need to do only a 1-year B.Ed course. Suppose you have an MSc, you have an MSc, you need to do only a 1-year course. So approach to teacher education, the content of teacher education is also going to drastically change. So that is what and one more thing they are saying, the schools, the TET, teacher entrance education test, what is it called? Teacher assessment test or something like that, the government used to conduct, this is considered to be, they are advising the management to consider those scores of TET, teacher entrance test.
CTET, Central Teachers Eligibility Test. CTET by CBSE. And state government conducts it as TET.
Exactly. Yes, teacher eligibility test, not entrance. Eligibility test. That marks also they are advising the managements to consider when you appoint teachers. Okay. And they also are asking you have great teachers in your school. Some managements will have plenty of schools in the locality itself. They are asking the great teachers, the best teachers of yours can be shared in the schools, to go and share their knowledge also. And while appointing the teachers also, they are insisting that the teachers should have technology guided, technology-based knowledge must be there, very comprehensive knowledge should be there, which is extremely important for you. The effectiveness of teaching is what finally they are saying going to be great. Efficient resourcing and effective governmental practice. Here, you should have adequate staff resources, promoting a sense of unity. This is what the school managements need to have: adequate staff, resources must be there, promoting a sense of unity. Endorsing idea of school complexes and clusters, greater resource efficiency and better functioning. This is going to be the order of the day. It is very interesting to note that in a certain area, locality, they are allowing the managements and the public schools itself to form clusters. They are also allowing each school to form school development plans of their own plans, okay? And then join hands together, and the cluster can form jointly school development, it's called school complexes or school clusters, okay? And they can seek, the school clusters are given some significant autonomy by the Directorate of School Education. These clusters to innovate, integrate, and use pedagogy. So suppose 5 or 6 schools are there in that area, you can all form a cluster. And what the government is saying is that you can innovate, you can ideate new processes in your system. Everything can be taken into consideration. They will help you. You can also share teachers between these clusters, and you can develop your own development plans. The freedom is there with the help of your SMC, school management committees. So this is what they are allowing you to do. Through 2025, the schools must be a point of celebration for the community, that the community should celebrate that we have 10 schools in our society, which is working so very well. It must be a celebration. That is what they are saying. So resourcing and effective governance being the primary responsibility of these clusters, and they are giving sufficient freedom to you. Then comes standard setting and accreditation for school education. The Department of School Education, the apex body for overall monitoring, policy making, and continual improvement. The educational operations and service provisions for public schools come under the Directorate of School Education. Now, they are going to give you standards. Now, for example, I would say tell you there are now today plenty of assessment agencies, school assessment agencies, who give you award. The best education award for the year goes to so and so, and they call you into a 5-star hotel and give you awards, etc., etc. And there may be plenty of great schools in the same locality who are doing better than the given schools. Isn't it? Yes. Now, no such things are going to happen. Here now onwards, there is going to be a central accrediting agency. National Achievement Survey is going to create a kind of, also a state assessment survey is going to give you details for standards. If these standards are there, the school will be rated. This is there, this is rated. This standard is there, this is rated. So it is, and this body, which is going to be a body for accreditation, which is called PARAK. Performance Assessment, the complete name for it is Performance Assessment, Review and Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development. It is called PARAK. And this PARAK is an autonomous body created by the central government, and there is no influence by anybody. They will only sit with the state assessment survey. They'll take the survey from all the states and take the standards of institutions, and periodic check will be done. And, private and public schools will have to accredit on the same standards. And the PARAK, nobody can influence PARAK. It is an independent body by itself. So, the best schools, sometimes a normal, ordinary schools in the locality will be really doing great than the so-called schools. So such people need to be highlighted. That's what they are saying. And they are saying private and public schools will be accredited on the same standards, criteria, benchmarks, processes, and display online for transparency. That's what they are asking the schools to do. Whatever you are doing, display it online. You must be doing it even now, but the transparency is more in the coming years. And they are asking periodic checkup for the health of the overall system of education to be set up. Okay, the performance standard and the education standards to the quality index, that is a performance index, and the quality index, they are going to rank. State quality, education quality index is going to be set up. So that is how it is going to take up. NAS, which is a National Achievement Survey for Student Learning Levels, is going to set up. NCERT is going to take clues from SAS. SAS is State Assessment Survey. So the whole thing is going to be state. Federal system is going to be linked with the central government to work into creating, setting the standards, quality standards for the schools and school education system. So I think you principals and teachers must be really happy about it, because there is no disparity shown to any particular group here. Now, key assessment stages are going to be in grade 3, 5, and 8, unlike now where you had only examinations across. Now the major examinations will be only on 3 and 5 and 8 to know the readiness for the children to go to the next class. The rest, all classes, it is going to be continuous assessment for you. You will test basic knowledge, learning outcomes, the core concepts and key competencies in the elementary grades will be tested. Higher order thinking skills and application will be tested. Then moving away from rote memorization. They are not saying don't have rote memorization, but they are saying that the other constructivism must be encouraged. Now, what is this constructivism? The child should be able to construct his own knowledge so that he owns the knowledge. That is what they are asking you to test in every grade level with respect to the competencies. Increased flexibility in the curriculum. Then continuous assessment is to track progress throughout the school years, use data for monitoring and improvement. So 3, 5, and 8 common examination, and 10th and 12th grade examinations, as usual, you have those board examinations. And the board examinations are going to be rather simplified, free, and coaching center they are going to take away, in the sense the less importance to coaching centers. That is what they are saying. They say that the board itself, the system NCERT, is going to create some kind of a system wherein the competencies and capacities what are required for the children for university education will be incorporated into the system itself, which will be tested through the school system itself, so that no coaching center the children or the parents have to rush through. Today, coaching centers are taking away more money than the schools. So that is what they are saying. Creation of National Education Technology Forum. So here they are saying dedicated institution at the center is created, going to be created, state level, and at the state level also, to create and deployment of technology. Sorry, not if, for technology. And what does this center, EduTech, that's what they call EdTech, educational technology, to exchange ideals for learning, assessment, planning, administration of educational institutions. Now, irrespective of whether you are a public school or government school or a private school, all these systems are going to be created by the NETF and going to be given to the people. So you don't have to run about. Now, when they are saying everything is common for state as well as the private schools, you know, they have to give you the system also, right? So that is what they are going to give. So I must say that the state government schools are going to be running pretty well, because they are also going to be given that kind of a facility. Research and innovations, building intellectual and institutional capacities, and focus on strategic thrust areas, deployment of educational technology in the system, all are going to be the functions of NETF. This is what they have said. And NEP takeaway in brief, if you see, you know, you can go on and on when we talk about teachers, when we talk about teaching, curriculum, etc. But in brief, this is what it is. Focuses on curriculum holistically, refuses to burden the children with content, integrated learning and skills incorporation. Quality of teachers and their professional development is considered to be most important. Accountability in the system for the schools. Credibility of the assessments. Regulatory focus on outcomes to leverage the quality. No more inputs are no more important. Outcomes are considered to be important. All private and public schools must focus on learning outcomes against learning inputs. Public disclosure of information to parents. Giving sufficient feedback to parents is extremely important. Transparency on web has to be shown. Separation of roles to establish impartial approach. Independent State School Standards Authority, SSSA, is going to be created. That is really good. Independent. It is not having any political clout towards that. Learning outcome measurement and disclosure. And common accreditation for private and government schools. These are the takeaway. Now I have exactly 15 minutes. In that, I have to touch upon integrated technology pedagogy, which is very difficult. So I will just quickly try.
Really, ma'am, hats off to you. You have covered major important aspects of NEP.
Thank you so much. Okay. Now, integrated pedagogy, art, sports, storytelling, and ICT is what exactly the government has written in this. Suggested for inculcating the 21st century skills. What are they? Collaboration, communication, creativity, innovation, digital literacy, critical thinking, problem solving, perseverance, self-direction, asking great questions in teaching, learning, and assessment. This is what they want you to incorporate, integrate into your pedagogy as skills. Every student will take a fun year-long course during the grades 6 to 8. That is your middle school. That gives a survey, hands-on experience of samples of important vocational crafts as decided by the states and local communities and as mapped by local skilling needs. This is exactly I have taken from there, but I will explain to you what it means. You know, the vocational training 6th standard onward, they're also asking you one more thing, warning I'm giving you. There is something called, what is it called? Coding. Coding is included, no, from 6th standard. Yeah. Now you will see the parents will be rushing to all the IT people. And that will become a coaching now. Now,
already started, ma'am, already started. Your online classes.
Yeah, tell your parents that your IT teacher is capable enough to teach them coding. No requirement to go to any other classes. That's very important. Vocational training from 6th standard is going to start. So this can include, what are the courses, that crafts they are talking about? Carpentry, electric work, metal work, gardening, pottery making, as decided by the state in the years. Now I am telling you, this I have done. So I can say it is possible. It is practically a possible thing. My students in the 9th standard and 10th standard, I was sending them to learn metalwork and foreman kind of a work but of course we had a company of our own. So we could send the children to learn, and they earned money while working there. For 3 to 4 months, they learned there, and they went out when they were doing the technical drawing sessions. They were working in a file manufacturing shop. So it is not impossible. Carpentry, they were learning. And it is, everything is possible for you. What the government wants you to do is to teach the children in the 6th grade to 8th grade. They should learn any one of them. And one very clearly most important thing the government tells you to do is that when the student walks out of your school, he should have one skill with him of this vocational skill with him. Practice-based curriculum would be provided by NCERT for it. Now, meaning of integration, if you ask me, I have 2 ways of looking at it. One is integrating the concepts of academic and non-academic subjects with art, sports, and ICT, or provide an integrated course in vocational crafts so that the student walks out with one core skill. 2 ways we can attack. Once, when I was touching upon the integrated teaching, I was telling you, you can take a topic, then teach all the other academic subjects around that. That is one way of integration. The other way of integration is use your storytelling tactics to start your lesson. Storytelling is required for the teachers when you start your sessions. How beautiful it would be if you start a lesson with a story. Who doesn't like stories? Everybody.
Even in subjects like mathematics, science,
you can always do that. Yes. Start with a story, integrate it with your teaching. Slowly get into the teaching. From the story you can take, or you would have read that something different today. Take that, narrate that, and take it to the subject quietly. So these are very, very important things for you. Both ways the students get to excel in schools and competencies. Okay, integrating all subjects, academic and non-academic subjects. This is what the first one is about. Okay, so consider a theme. that you are teaching in a particular subject. For example, you are teaching respiratory system. This respiratory system is something which is extremely important for you right now. Pandemic ka stage mein respiratory system. I think it is in the 7th grade or 8th grade. The biology teachers will be teaching respiratory system. Suppose that is the topic you are taking. Link this science topic with English, math, social studies, physical fitness, environment. This is one way of integrating. It is not at all difficult. What you need to do is that the teacher who's going to teach this particular topic needs to sit with these people for about half an hour to understand. And these are the questions you can ask the children. Divide the children into small groups, 5 children, 6 children, depending on the number of your students in the class. Then, pose leading questions to them. What are the key parts of a respiratory system? What are the functions of the key parts? How are the functions of the respiratory system connected with the functioning of the circulatory system? How are lungs affected by choices humans make and actively they engage in? This is very important during the time of pandemic. The teachers who are teaching respiratory system can take it up as an integrated method. Now what happens is, let the students try to think, do research through their ICT, integrate. Google Dada is there to help you. Use Microsoft or smart boards, etc. to illustrate, okay? Teacher helps in between. Teacher teaches them the theory. This is the theory of it. Either the teacher can use a smart board or draw something or a video clipping, whatever the teacher wants to use, she can. The students are taught to use, I would suggest the teacher to use graphic organizers. Graphic organizers as a teaching method to beautifully illustrate your respiratory system. They understand about the various parts, the role of lungs, carbon dioxide, oxygen, trachea, diaphragm, inhale, exhale, respiratory, bronchi, water vapor, pharynx. All these parts will be discussed by the teacher. Children will collect all the informations about it. Now you look here. Are you not connecting with the chemistry? Are you not connecting it with the mathematics here? The lungs, the breathing. Are you not connecting with health, yoga, physical fitness, environment? The social studies, how are you connecting? Because the kind of a breathing thing, the pattern, the way living style of different people are different. Some people, different geographic locations, their people, their health systems, their culture, their eating habits, everything is different. Accordingly, their health is also different. Okay, so the teacher would be assigning required materials to the students to read, and at the end they learn the concepts with 80% accuracy. Now this integrated method of teaching is something which I had been doing all my life, and I can say positively that the children learn beautifully well. The only thing to the principals I have to say is that the teachers need sufficient practice to do this. That's it. But once they get the hang of it, they'll be able to do it beautifully. The culture responsiveness to the respiratory issues, the individual differences, age-related institutes, demography, and how various people respond to the same issues, the health hazards, the precaution, the environment needs, subjects are integrated, the yoga, physical fitness, completing the learning. I tell you why this is important. This is actually coming with the social studies. The people who are living in Iran and Iraq and all that, the pandemic affected them very bad. Sorry, not Iran and Iraq, Italy. The pandemic affected them so badly. You know why? Because most of the people were senior citizens. Very less number of youngsters. So the demography, the geography matters a lot. The health matters a lot. The eating habits matter a lot. The culture of health, precautionary taken by the people matter a lot. So this is culture responsiveness also come into it. And then art integration is a cross-cultural pedagogical approach that utilizes various aspects and forms of art and culture on the basis of learning of concepts across subject. Art can be so beautifully used to describe. Now you ask the children to draw the respiratory system the way they have understood in their mind. Let them draw it, understand. You are linking art there. Suppose you are teaching daffodils of Wordsworth in English. Art, can't it be utilized there? So beautifully it will be. Ask the children to close their eyes and illustrate a village scene. So beautifully it is coming in. Even music can be incorporated, isn't it? Anything and everything can be incorporated. Your time is up, Binoy. Give me 5 more minutes.
Binoy is seen now. That means
you have time, ma'am. You have time.
Okay.
Please.
Students should be now consolidating the knowledge. That's very, very important. So a particular topic is taken. All the other essential subjects are linked around it. The only thing is that you have to create a web. A concept web has to be created. A discipline web has to be created. A flowchart has to be done. An assessment part has to be done. All these are linked. And then if you proceed, everything will be possible. This is one way of integrating. The other way of integrating is integrated course in vocational crafts. This is what they are asking you to do, which is also possible. Storytelling, as I told you, which is a very good essential way to start any lesson. Anywhere you can link it, be mathematics, social studies, anything. If you are, I would say history, geography would be the best subject for storytelling, according to me. History and geography, people don't like it. So many children don't understand the significance of history and geography. And to me, history, geography is one of the most beautiful subjects possible on earth. So that is something. Nidhi is also coming to tell me it's time. Okay.
No. Not at all. Please continue. You have the time, ma'am.
Few vocational crafts can be selected by the school as per convenience. Now you see your local area. Carpentry or pottery or sculpture or electrical wiring, air conditioning. I was giving my students 4 activities. Air conditioning and repairing, electrical work I was getting, tire retreading. These were the things which I was giving 3-4 activities to my students to learn. Some 3-month course, vocational course. And when they did it, they were doing it. This particularly I gave it to those underprivileged group of children who don't have any other way to do things. They were given, and when they all did this course, we conducted an examination, gave them a kit. A kit to practice. Electrician course they can carry it anywhere. 3,000 to 4,000 rupees worth kit was given to each student to go ahead and do that. You know, this is how vocational training can be made useful. Let the students choose one craft, anything, any vocational craft they can choose, and the school also should be able to take up only what it can. Don't take up everything. Take 2 or 3, specialize in that, and get part-time people to do that course for you. Your teachers, you can't ask a computer teacher to do the carpentry work. Never. So really it is. If the electric work is what you have taken up, electrician thing, electrical wiring is what, or something connected with the small, simpler course, then the teacher who's teaching that vocational craft must work very closely with the science teacher. The physics teacher will be able to tell you beautifully well about the electrical connections. Okay. And the main concept of physics is learned there. The teacher will tell you how direct connections are there, alternate connections are there, direct connections are there. What is the kind of a wire you must use? The physics teacher will be, if it is wiring, what he learns, the student would be able to give sound knowledge about it, how to use these connections. Then when will you get a shock? You know, all these things the physics teacher will be able to teach along with your vocational training teacher. The skills that the electrical person must have, the person whom when you create this knowledge in a children, what skill you are imparting is independent problem solving skill. That is what you are giving. When the power cut goes today, see, Nidhi knows it. For last week, I was struggling. There was no this one. Internet was giving a big problem. I called up Nidhi, what do I do? She tried her level best to make me understand. This you can do, ma'am. You can buy something Airtel wala or Jio wala, this wala, that wala. All that she was helping me, trying to help me. But that day I called somebody who came home to help me understand, yes, the modem, MTNL, that modem should have 3 lives. One is a power center, another is a data, another is your phone. My goodness, that time I realized that there are several things. So what happens is today, when the internet goes, I think I will be able to handle it. What I am trying to say is that the knowledge what you are giving by training these children, all these vocational skills, is that independent problem solving skill. Mathematical skill, yes, how to handle it mathematically. Communication skill. Dependability, yes, very important. Time management, attention to detail. Many of us, internet is not working, we say. When we see, the switch would be off. We are supposed to be the great PhDs. Kya fayda hai? The fundamental thing, minute detail to the switch should be on for an internet to be on. We forget it. So attention to detail, managing your time, these are all the things which you are imparting to the children when they learn. The student must have an apprentice practice. You allow the children to do an apprentice practice. What the government is telling you, 10 days bag-free time. They are allowing the children 10 days to go and work with their knowledge and earn money. This is something fantastic. I would say I have done it. When I was doing my B.Ed, the total college fee was raised by me. I was working and I was raising my money. So, there is a pleasure. It is my money. When I am spending it, there is a value for it, isn't it? When my father or mother is spending the money, there is no value for it. Okay, so children learn about it. Combining it with subjects that they learn would help the students score better on that skill. Design thinking, which I had been, Nidhi would be now tired of hearing me. Design thinking is going to be the order of your teaching practices, henceforth teachers. Okay, ICT is used throughout for learning, references and integration. In this era of internet, I've written a sufficient knowledge of ICT with setting up optic fiber connection, how to do it. Teach your children that. Take that as an art. Tell your computer teacher to do that. How to set up a bandwidth connection through optic fiber. What should we do that? These are all the vocational crafts. The new mantra for the students, what the Prime Minister is giving, is engage, explore, experience, express, and excel. This is for the students, and it covers all. I have added, the last part is mine. Okay, all these things have to happen. Who have to be behind this?
Teacher.
The teacher. Okay, you have to be there behind it. You will touch the lives of children and brilliantly you will work. Technology is just a tool. In terms of getting the kids to work together and motivating them, the teacher is the most important. And who says this? Bill Gates.
Very true, very true.
I wish I could have unmuted everybody and they would have said, we will make it happen.
Yes, they have to make it happen. You are the ones, you touch them. You may teach physics, chemistry, biology, English, philosophy, whatever you may teach them. Your children are not going to remember you for what you taught them in class, but how you touched their lives.
True, very true, ma'am.
That is how they will remember you. Ma'am, you said this that day when I did something nonsense. You did this to me. You did this to me. No, ma'am, I remember it. They take values from us. We are role models to them. You may ask me, teachers, are we not human beings? Yes, you are human beings. But, God cannot do whatever you are doing today. He wanted to do it. He couldn't do it. So he chose teachers. And I am telling you, chosen people only will become teachers.
I can see the smiling faces.
Chosen chosen people only can become teachers. Not all can become teachers. Nobody. Only very few limited people. And remember, in your evolution of life, if you have reached teacherhood, then I think you may have only 1 or 2 steps ahead for moksha.
Oh, great. so much of divinity you have given to this profession, ma'am. Defined.
Thank you so much.
And as far as technology is concerned, somebody rightly said, technology cannot replace great teachers, but technology in hands of great teachers can be very transformational. Exactly. That is what now the era is, and the teachers are supposed to do. Yes,
exactly. Beautifully done.
So that was wonderful listening to you.
For listening to me for almost 1 hour 45 minutes.
We could not realize that 1 hour 45 minutes has passed this last month. And Nidhi ma'am, are you wanting to say something regarding the assessment and all?
Yes.
Right?
Just a minute, please. Thank you so much, Beena ma'am. Dr. Ravi, it is always a pleasure listening to you. Thank you so much for so beautifully decoding the NEP for all of us. Your words are really encouraging. I could see the smile on everybody's face. So I'm sure everybody's going back happy.
I'm not able to resist myself in expressing my happiness and excitement to have Ravi ma'am with us today, because it was like the day on which I listened to her on in the last January, I believe, when Gyan Sarovar Sahodaya organized the principals conference. The thought came in my mind, one such a session, if I can do it for our teachers, it would be great. And that has what happened today. Thank you, Binoy Nidhi ma'am, for making it happen. And no words to express to.
Thank you.
Ravi ma'am, Dr. Ravi.
Thank you so much for being such a great leader. I'm sure, the teachers and the entire school fraternity is in good hands. And so all of us would have actually heard about PISA assessments, right? Isn't it?
Yes, yes. It is a test going to happen this year, I believe. Right? India is
2022. So
which year? Which year is that?
2022.
Last PISA test, Finland scored the first, right?
Yes.
Now India will have to.
Yes. So India participated in the year 2009, and after a gap of almost 12 years, India will be participating once again in the year 2022. So and this time, so basically it is to check the ability of the children on reading, on mathematics, science, knowledge, and skills. So this time they are also covering creative thinking, right? So we have a special product with us today, so which we are going to launch for all of you. And we have a small presentation on that, on maths and science assessments, which is based on PISA for classes 9th and 10th, right? So over to you, Binoy.
Thank you all for taking out your time, your precious time to be with all of us over here. And I believe you have been definitely rewarded for the time that you've spent. I'll quickly take you through, I'll exactly take 5 minutes, quickly take you through this presentation. As Madam said, we have launched something exciting. I'll just share my screen. Right, so Neeta, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So So what we have got is basically Collins Perfect Maths assessments for classes 6 to 10, and we have got Collins Perfect Science assessments for 6 to 10. Right, these are actually series of 5 books that we have got for classes 6 to 10, and these are basically practice-oriented, learner-centric kind of books that we have got. Now, Madam, actually, Vijayam Ravi ma'am, during her presentation, stressed upon how should assessments be, and she stressed upon the cognitive domain part of it, right? So these are basically books which are going to test the expertise of the children in the particular concept, the conceptual clarity of the children, right? Their abilities. All those things are going to be tested, and we very well know now that we have gone through NEP that NEP actually wants this to be done, right? NEP wants the conceptual clarity to be tested, the children to self-assess their abilities and all. So these books actually will help the students with that. It is completely adhered to any NCERT, what we say, learning outcomes, adhered to NEP 2020, right? As you are able to see on the screen, you will be able to see how we have the various features that we have put inside the book, how it adheres to the NEP 2020, right? The National Education Policy 2020. If you're able to see, we have got some features called keywords, concept maps. Again, Vijayam madam stressed upon the need for graphic organizers. So concept map is basically a graphic organizer which summarizes the entire knowledge for the child. So it helps them with quick revision and stuff like that. So concept map, keywords, prior knowledge test is there. So those are basically which helps the children with the formative assessment part, the regular assessment part. That it helps them to check with their competency and stuff like that, right? And we have got around each chapter. Each chapter will have around 3 assessments, self-assessment test. Wherein you will be having, the children will be having 2 objective self-assessment tests and 1 subjective self-assessment test would be there. And basis all of these, they can actually test their higher order thinking skills, what NEP says. They can check out their critical thinking skills, their conceptual clarity, as I've been again and again saying that part, right? So all that is there. As you're able to see, these are the key features of the book, right? There is going to be part 1 and part 2 to each chapter. As I said, part 1 has got 2 objective kind of self-assessment. Part 1 and part 2 has 1 self-assessment. And part 1, I'll just run you through the basic things, right? There is a prior knowledge test which helps you to understand whether you know the concept, helps you to check your knowledge, check your misconceptions and stuff like that. And there are key words which basically lays out all the important concepts inside the chapter at one go in a sort of a regular format. It is done. There's a concept map, as you're able to see. I earlier talked about that. Now this is very important, like the objective assessments that are there, they have got different kind of questions, the easy questions, the average questions, and the difficult questions. So around 5 easy and 5 difficult questions will be there, and around 15 average questions would be there, and each objective type question paper would be having around 25 questions. So 50 objective type questions in all, and the other subjective type questions would also be there. If you're able to see, the subjective type questions will help the children with how to plan their answers, how to organize their answers, structure their answers, right? All that kind of abilities it tries to develop. It has got short answer and long answer type questions, both are there, right? We also give the children general tips, right? This is to make how to make the learning process easier, the tools and techniques for that. And then there are quick tips also which helps them with the learning strategies and how which helps them to score well in their examinations. And then there are answers to all the questions given, right? Even to the prior knowledge test, to the objective type questions, to the subjective type questions, there are answers provided. Even there are hints to solve difficult questions that are there in the objective type questions. And then we also train the students with the OMR sheets, right? So OMR sheets are given, and they are there for each chapter. So for each chapter you will have the OMR sheets, how to go about it, that is also there. And we have an online version of this which will actually help the children. That is subscription based, but that will help the children with finding out detailed analysis of their performance. Okay, how have they gone about their performance? So that sort of a facility is also available. And as madam was saying, the most important part is that for 9th and 10th, as I said, this is a series of 5 books, 6 to 10. 9th and 10th, the books have got life skills questions and PISA based questions. And PISA is something wherein are about close to 100 countries participate. And what is checked about is that the knowledge of those 15-year child, how is he able to apply his knowledge to real world situations or real life situations. That is what is checked over there. So actually using these books, I believe we can train our children to apply their knowledge to real life situations. I believe we can put our country on that map which madam was saying. Instead of Finland being there, we can maybe 5 years down the line or 3 years down the line, India can be there, and maybe GPS student can put India on the line. So right, so we can do that, right? So these are the key features. You talk about what kind of questions you want, and you have it over here, be it hot based, be it logical reasoning, problem solving, right, objective based, diagram based, whatever it is, all the solutions are there, answer keys are there, hints are there, everything is there, keywords, concept map, everything is there inside it. We have 3 types of books for self-assessment, that is Let's Practice for the smaller grades. We have Collins Max workbook, which is totally based on NCERT, and then we have got Perfect Max Assessment based to which is sort of linking to NEP, right? For science also we have similar kind of products. So for Max and science, if you want to actually train the students in a very bring about that experiential learning kind of a thing, and real life situation learning has to be given, then you can actually use our books and you can train them. So that is it. Thank you. Sorry,
Binoy, you don't you have for English, Binoy? English?
Ma'am, it is in the pipeline. We are actually designing. We are soon going to come out with something very interesting. It is all there in the pipeline, and we have got for English actually, ma'am, our books are completely aligned to NEP. In the sense, the features that we have designed, it is just like you have been thinking ahead of the times. Collins has also been thinking ahead of the times, that before NEP has come out, we have actually come out with those features inside our books.
I think this is really good. It is.
Yeah. Actually, very interesting, ma'am. And even as Beena ma'am was saying earlier, we have got this product called Evaluate also. Right. Sorry, you yourself were saying that we have got this product Evaluate also, which is again an assignment tool to assign homeworks and coursework. So that is also beautifully done. Basically, Collins has been doing a lot of things to help the schools out during this pandemic time. And we have also come out with a website, ma'am, wherein we have put in a lot of free resources that parents can just go in, register with their email ID, 2 simple step registration process, and then they get access to all the content related to math, science, listening, speaking course, grammar course, 9th, 10th assessment, everything free of cost. It is absolutely available over there. Even yoga is covered, right? So all those things are there. A lot of efforts have been taken by Collins, and I believe the education community would appreciate that. Right? Thank you so much.
Really, I would like to emphasize here and share here. Binoy and the team of Collins, they were continuous during this pandemic. He was after me, ma'am. We have come up with this, that, and so many things he was sharing with us, actually. Thank you, Binoy.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah.
So, well, we come to an end of this session. Thank you so much, Dr. Ravi, once again. Thank you, Beena ma'am, for the opportunity. And I'm sure, I mean, the compliments are pouring in, and there was a big message from Abhilasha ma'am also. Dr. Ravi, I would like to read this for you. So, Miss V. Ravi, great session on decoding the NEP. So far, very informative. I hope that this NEP will usher in a new era for India, where kids will develop love for learning and make them appreciate its value in true sense. As management, we as a group of schools have been always open to take up change for good. Must say that it puts teachers at crux the way it should. Having said that, the onus of success will lie within them. The teachers, along with all stakeholders, will have to adapt and gravitate towards this change. Some of the things are already in place. Most of all, we need to re-engineer our approach, attitude, and efforts. We all must also enjoy learning. Glad our teachers could benefit from your knowledge and experience. Thank you, Collins team. Apologies for early exit.
Yes, that is what Madam was typing there. Thank you, Abhilasha ma'am. Ma'am had to go for some other meeting. That's why. Anyway, that was wonderful this evening. I think all our teachers, otherwise after some sessions, they used to tell me, what a session, ma'am, why you were forcing us to. But today they are going to tell that this too.
If you can stop sharing, then everybody can.
Yeah.
Dr.
Sorry for that.
So ma'am can see everybody now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That is wonderful. This evening they had lot of things for their enrichment. That is what I would like to add here. Now, Pramod sir, would you like to say something? Otherwise, we will go for the official vote of thanks from our side.
I will just unmute Pramod sir. Pramod sir, you can speak up now. Please unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself. Yes.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Madam, it was interesting. And actually, we cannot know how the 2 hours passed. So it is very difficult to realize that how these 2 hours passed. That much, it was interesting that much, ma'am. Thank you very much. And most of our teachers are still there only. It's a golden opportunity. Very rare we are getting such an opportunity. And thank you, Collins. Thank you, Vijayam, especially.
We will meet up. Gujarat is very close to my heart.
Next time, Gujarat means you should be in GPS.
I am coming. Okay.
Nidhi ma'am, I'm giving that responsibility to you. When this everything will get over, pandemic
will come together.
Both of you come together from Mumbai to Baroda.
I wish to be pampered. Who pampers me?
Anyone would like, if anybody would like to speak, I can unmute that person. Any teacher.
Anybody wants to ask something? Madam, before we wind up, I would like to talk about a little about our management.
Yes.
We have a wonderful visionary leader with us, Sri Pakuleshwar Gupta, who is the founder chairman of this BRG group, who initiated, who stepped in this field of education in 1992 with a very great vision, and by establishing Urmi School in 1992. And this 28 years of journey in this education field was wonderful. And he was a person who has spent his lifetime, I would say, in developing sports, education and culture in the city of Vadodara. Doing a lot, ma'am. We all are getting inspiration from that visionary leader. Now, the entire thing is being taken care by our very dynamic, young, energetic managing director, Mr. Sargam Gupta, with the able support of Abhilasha ma'am and Abheksha ma'am. That is what we are doing. And I would say, once again, I will take this opportunity to say, though Gujarat Public School at Ladra is only 18 years old, we are standing at par with 4 to 5 other reputed schools who are 50 years old, ma'am, and contributing the board results and all. So that is something I wanted to share with Ravi ma'am.
Very good, Meena. And my pronouns to your founders, I want to tell you something. Never ever compare your great institution with any other institution.
That is what, ma'am. We are different.
You are your own comparison.
Yes, we are different. In all the sense, we are different, ma'am.
Yeah, exactly. You will do really well. God be with you always.
And so many episodes of your life reminded my certain life's episodes as well. From Kerala, when I came to Baroda, pre-degree, that English medium class and all. Same was the case with me. Anyway, we do not. We'll talk in detail later.
There are many children who cannot speak English and they feel so low about it. We must tell them that English is just a language. It can come to anybody and everybody.
Ma'am, in Kerala State Board, we learning alphabets A, B, C, D in the class of 4th. Will you, this other teachers, will you be able to imagine?
Or I learned in 6th.
Yeah. But still, we are not bad in the language, I believe.
We are good.
Now, ma'am, anything else to say? Any teacher, anybody else?
I think there is Dr. Madhavi who wanted to say something.
Dr. Madhavi ma'am, you can.
Yes, ma'am. Very good evening to all of you, and a special greeting to Dr. Vijayam Ravi. Ma'am, I am honored to introduce myself as a Solonian.
Oh, wow.
Virtual hug.
Passed out.
Ma'am, 95. Before you joined, my brother passed out under you.
She was so excited, ma'am, when she was knowing that Dr. Vijayam Ravi is going to take up the session. Dr. Madhavi, she was expressing her happiness and so excited she was.
I'm so proud.
That is what the role of the teacher is.
Yes. So, ma'am, just one question. Ma'am, you very beautifully explained the NEP. Since it was quite ambiguous so far, to be really honest. But just one question, ma'am. How does this standardization impact the different boards that are functioning and the different fee structures of the private and public schools and all the schools which there is a lot of disparity? So how does it come through as unification or standardization?
Madhvi, one thing, it's a good question. It takes one thing, we have to accept that it will take time. Number two is that they are trying to bring in a parity between all systems of education. Okay. So the descriptive part of NEP says the infrastructure development of institutions is a primary bone of contention for many parents while they take admissions into school. Okay. Many schools do not have teachers, good teachers, rural areas and other areas, etc., etc. So that is the reason they have given a flexibility to choose to create textbooks or curriculum, keep the general framework the same, competencies the same, but with the local content and culture and the text creation based on the particular thing. And the vocational education importance is also given to it. So what they are saying is that be it ICSE or CBSE or state board, children are children.
Right.
You will agree with me. Children are children. Only thing, we don't give them sufficient exposure or equal opportunities. What NEP is trying to say is that through this policy, let us give equal opportunities to all children alike. Let us give facilities to all children alike. Let us give teachers to all children alike. Let us train all the teachers alike on some common platform, which is created by NCERT, which is created by the early childhood branch, okay, which is going to be tested by PARAC, which is an independent body. So everything is going to be, and also the federal system is also coming into picture. The state governments will be able to pool in support with the central government while establishing their own rule, and the quality standard, what is the quality norms they expect. So when such a thing happens, when everything is, the measuring levels are common, there shouldn't be any problem. Now the playing field is not even.
Okay.
You have a CBSE who thinks that they are everything. You have an ICSE who think that they are the best in the world. So you have an IGCSE, you have an IB, you have everything in this universe. So after all, at the end of the day, our children are our children. And they have to live in our country mostly, right? Not all children can escape to US. Now US is not a very great destination for them anymore.
Right.
So they have to live here. So they are creating a very, very focused kind of educational activity for our country, giving leveled playing field for everyone. Opportunities are given to all school managements, all teachers. You can come up, when they talked about, I was really happy about the professional development for staff given. It has to be even. Not every teacher is bad. Every teacher is good. The only thing is that we don't challenge the teachers. The skill do not come out. Only when I ask you a right question, you will give me a right answer.
Right.
So we do not trigger the spirit in the teacher. So they are saying trigger the spirit in the teacher. Give the best opportunities for the teachers to excel.
So with due respect, ma'am, with due respect. So I would like to tell all of you. So please do visit the Collins Facebook page, Collins Learning Facebook page. So you'll get a lot of inputs on NEP there. There are a lot of educators who have, come as a panel of. So there was a panel of discussions, panel of judges that we had. So please do visit in. Yesterday itself, we had Mr. Anil Swarup, who was the former education secretary, talk about this particular aspect. So what Dr. Mangat, you spoke about, he spoke about this particular aspect as well. Please do see that. It's a 20 minutes thing. 20-minute session, 20-25 minutes address by Mr. Anil Swarup, who's also who was an instrument in making drafting this policy, basically. So please go view that you will get a lot of inputs about the National Education Policy. And yes, there is an email ID also present there. So Mr. Swaroop's email ID, just in case if you have any questions around the policy, you can write directly to him as well.
Oh, great. We will definitely, Nidhi ma'am.
Thank you so much, Beena ma'am. Thank you so much, Dr. Ravi. Thank you, everybody.
Now I invite Mrs. Asma Sheikh, the principal of our afternoon school, to formally propose a vote of thanks from our side, ma'am. Asma ma'am, can you unmute Asma ma'am?
Asma ma'am is unmuted. Yes.
Asma ma'am, are you there?
Yes, she's there. Unmute yourself. Unmute.
I have done. Just see that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes. Please, go ahead.
Before I officially present the vote of thanks, ma'am, from my bottom of my heart, it was really, I felt like I can hear still more and more, and I really wanted more and more. It was really a privilege to hear you, and definitely it has really enlightened us like anything. Thank you so much, ma'am. On behalf of the entire Gujarat Public School, I extend a very warm, hearty and sincere thanks to the most renowned personality and highly knowledgeable person, Dr. Vijayam Ravi. It was truly enriching, and ma'am, you really made it very easy for us to understand the guidelines of the new education policy and the integrated pedagogy, which is must to know for all the educators of the present times. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again from the bottom of our heart. Further, we all, the entire GPS educators present today, are very grateful and thankful to the school management for supporting us and arranging such enlightening session for us today, giving us a platform to update ourselves and sharpen our skills of teaching learning process. Our sincere gratitude and hearty thank you to the entire team from Collins Learning for providing us such a renowned resource person.
I would like to mention the name of Nidhi ma'am and Binoy being the link. Thank you so much, Binoy. It was like having.
Thank you, ma'am. My pleasure. Always there at your service.
Nidhi ma'am, thank you for all the support.
It's our pleasure. And we would like to definitely mention, Beena ma'am, if you can share the link that Dr. Ravi, of the session that Dr. Ravi took on Saturday. So all about assessments on the 3rd.
Binoy was talking about that.
Yes, please share that link with all the teachers. I'm sure they will benefit.
We would like to go through the session.
So, yeah, sure.
And last but not the least, thank you to all the respected and honorable principals, vice principals, section heads, coordinators, and all the teachers from sister concerned schools for joining us and making this session full of learning and successful. Thank you so much.
That's it from our side, from Gujarat Public School. Once again expressing it, ma'am. Vijay ma'am, we do not want to leave you today evening.
Yes, ma'am.
All of you, thank you so
much. Thank you so much.
Please take care, all of you.
Take care, all of you.
Have a lovely evening and please stay safe.
I hope now next time also we will be with Vijay ma'am with some other topic from her on some other occasion. I wish for that.
Also, Beena ma'am, all the teachers will be receiving their e-certificate shortly. Just wanted to thank you.
That is what I conveyed them. Thank you, Beena.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Beena ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Ravi.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.